We meet today to discuss the progress of the economic recovery and the challenges that still lie ahead of us. We're pleased, as I said, to have as our witness today the Chairman of the Federal Reserve System, Dr. Ben Bernanke. When the 111th Congress began and the current administration took office, the economy is shrinking, contracting at an annualized rate of minus 5.4%. 1 year and a half later, the economy has experienced its third straight quarter of economic growth, including 5.6% growth in the fourth quarter of 2009 and 3% growth in the first quarter of 2010. We have a chart, please, Jose, to illustrate that. A year and a half ago, the economy was losing jobs, hemorrhaging jobs. In the month of January 2009, we lost 779,000 jobs, 1 month alone. Now employers have added nearly 1 million jobs between January and May of this year. We have a chart that shows the job growth over the last span of time. The ultimate strength of our economy lies in the private sector, of course, but the actions taken by this Congress and by the administration have also played a significant role. For example, in the judgment of CBO, the Recovery Act, which we passed in July and February of 2009, has contributed significantly to the economic turnaround, raising real GDP by 1.7 to 4.2 percentage points in the fourth quarter of 2010, and increasing employment by between 1.2 million and 2.8 million jobs. Meanwhile, the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve, and the FDIC have engaged in unprecedented and coordinated efforts to stabilize banks and the financial system by injecting liquidity, capital, people's savings, securing people's savings, and requiring banks to raise still more capital. While we as Democrats have been focused on the economic recovery, we've also been aware of the need to restore fiscal responsibility. We want to see the economy and the budget recover pari passu, step by step. Unlike the previous administration, which inherited a $5.6 trillion surplus over 10 years and turned it into large deficits, the current administration was handed a $1.3 trillion deficit for 2010 alone and an $8 trillion deficit over the next 10 years. While the recession and recovery efforts have taken an unavoidable toll on the budget in the short run, we are focused on bringing the deficit down as the economy recovers. We passed statutory pay-go to require that new mandatory spending or revenue reductions be paid for. The President has established a bipartisan commission now at work to make recommendations to bring the deficit down to a sustainable level by 2015. The President has also proposed to freeze non-security discretionary spending for 3 years. Last month, I introduced a bill to add to our fiscal toolbox an additional tool called expedited rescission, which allows the President to sign a bill into law, but at the same time recommend to us that in the Congress the elimination of some items in the bill that have a budgetary cost. We'll continue to pursue these and other steps towards fiscal responsibility so that over the medium and long term we put the nation on a fiscal path that will provide a foundation for a strong economy in the future. At the same time, the key concern in the short term remains the economic outlook. As we continue to work on additional legislation to address the situation, we're fortunate to have Chairman Bernanke here to present his testimony and to respond to our questions. Most fundamentally, at a time when too many Americans continue to feel the effects of this recession and wonder when relief is going to come, we'd like to hear Dr. Bernanke's view of how the recovery is progressing and what steps we can take, what constructive steps the government can take to maximize the return of sustained economic strength. Before we turn to Chairman Bernanke's testimony, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the newest member of the committee, Budget Committee, Congressman Charles DeJoux, is it, from Oahe. Welcome aboard. We're glad to have you on the committee. He was sworn in last month as the newest member of the House, and we welcome him to Congress and in particular to the Budget Committee. And before Dr. Bernanke's testimony, let me also turn to the ranking member, Mr. Ryan, for any statement he may care to make for opening purposes. Mr. Ryan.